Emotional affairs can be really devastating to everyone involved. Suppose you are a husband happily married to a wife. You're at work, and then someone starts talking to you, and they become your friend, you become their friend. Over time, you become each other's confidant. And then shortly thereafter, you find yourself getting a little too happy when you think about the other person instead of your spouse. If this has happened to you or is happening to you, then either you're beginning to fall into an emotional affair or you already have. What'll end up happening is you will begin to devote more time and energy to the other person than to your spouse, to whom it rightly belongs. The thing about emotional affairs is someone once told me that they went through the same thing, except they actually followed through and they ended up cheating on them. And they said that they did it because they thought the grass was greener on the other side, but what they didn't realize was all they had to do was, quote unquote, mow their lawn, trim their bushes, whatnot. So, I guess to reiterate that, if you feel like in your relationship things aren't going the way that you want them to, or things aren't going the way that they should, now I'm not condoning abusive relationships whatsoever. This is for those relationships where both parties are equally happy and they're really happy with each other, but they feel like the relationships have somewhat stagnated. If you feel that your relationship is stuck in a rut and everything's become routine, do something to change it up. Be the change. Sit down, talk about it, go through whatever you got to. The thing about emotional affairs is you may feel like you're falling in love for another person, but at the same time, all it is an emotional fling. Nothing can ever come of it. It won't last. It never will. I understand that this channel is supposed to be my video diary / blog channel, but I think it also serves as a platform to how I can help other people who are going through the same type of issue. If you have somebody that you're involved with, not in an emotional affair sense, but just in general, like boyfriend, girlfriend, someone that you hold dear to your heart, husband, wife, just somebody that you hold in trust, and that they provide you with what no one else on this earth can give you, then hold on to them tightly. Do not let them go. Because if they are the faithful spouse that they should be, they will be your rock through any situation you are going through. if you're watching this right now and you're going through this, if you take any of my advice, cut the emotional affair in half. Just stop the emotional affair and get back to the spouse to whom you exchanged vows with. No other person can be your spouse except your spouse themselves. You can't find happiness outside of your relationship in somebody else. Because when you engage in an emotional affair, you want the other person to fulfill the needs that your spouse, you feel, cannot. Essentially, it's like throwing away the spouse you have for someone that you have no chance of being with. We've all heard of high risk, low yield investments and low risk, high yield investments. Well, let me tell you, this is the highest risk with no yield whatsoever. You're risking everything for something that'll never happen. So again, my advice to you is stay faithful to your spouse. Don't try to find any happiness outside of your relationship. Don't seek what you want from your spouse from somebody else. I know we're all allowed to have friends and we're all allowed to talk to whomever we feel the need to, but at the same time, you got to be careful when you do that because it can be a slippery slope to these emotional affairs. Anyway, I hope that this has helped somebody at least, because this is advice that I should have taken some time ago. So I guess for now, this is Bland Moral signing off.